We always had to set our goals. We had to write them down. We had to turn them in, put them in our locker. And it wasn't just about having goals, it's about making sure you did what you needed to do to attain them. Just having goals isn't enough. Everybody can write something down on a piece of paper, but it's being willing to put in the time, the effort, and the energy to actually reach them. So, the other thing he always did, he always had very clear expectations as a dad and as a coach. You know, if you did this, this is what was going to happen to you. You acted this way, this is the way things were going to turn out. And I think he was very clear with all of us as players, whether we were very good, you know, we were the last guy off the bench, whatever it happened to be, it did not matter. You know, if you broke a rule, there were the consequences. That was the great things that he taught us. There are stories, I believe, I think I was still back in my bat boy days. I think there were a couple individuals who missed the old Greater Flint bus on the way to a tournament. They were two pretty good ball players. But, you know, whether they were good or not, they didn't get to play that day. And that's what he set up, and everybody understood it. I'm sure it wasn't a very popular decision at the time. But that's just one of those things that happens. And he let us know, and we knew, and that's the way we had to deal with things. You know, it didn't matter how great you were, how bad you were, no matter where we were, we all got treated the same, which was wonderful. Had a great team emphasis. Similar to what Mr. Anderson said, the greatest time, the greatest relationships I had were high school baseball. I was fortunate enough to go on and play in college, and it was fun, it was a great time, but the relationships you have with your coach and your teammates in high school, it's amazing. You never had those bonds anywhere else. And he really emphasized that. We did things as a team, hung out as a team, we worked hard as a team. That was one of the things he always wanted to emphasize, that there was nobody who was more important than anybody else on the team. So, another thing he really stressed was playing the game the right way. We were expected to, you know, run on and off the field, you know, hit our cutoff man, run the bases right, all the things about baseball we always had to do. We were also expected to play the game the right way and act the right way on the field. There was no throwing helmets, there was no cursing, there was no getting mad. You know, I'm sure if any of you played for him, you've heard the one, you know, when somebody gets mad, slams your glove, you know, what are you mad at your glove for? You're the one that missed it. Something along those lines. Or back in his umpire days, when the kid can strike out and launch the bat, simply if that bat hits the ground, you're out of the game. Of course, it always hit the ground, but you know, we were expected to carry ourselves in the right way out on the field and behave in a certain way, and which is really good. Just for any of the former players out there, one of his famous speeches, which I was very disappointed I never got to hear once, was his language speech that he would give every year, or every so often to his team. But it became so popular, he told me, that he didn't feel like he had to give it anymore because the players passed it on from team to team. So my years playing with him, I never actually got to hear it. But I've heard all the stories from the former players when he would give that lovely speech. They all had their own little rendition. And I think, for the most part, most of them tried not to laugh while he was up there doing it, because they couldn't imagine what he was saying at the time, I think. So, the other thing, there's a lot of things you can see on his impact here in Mount Morris with the Little League fields, the banners up in the gym there. Obviously, the wins. And if you've ever been, I'm sure a lot of you had an experience. When I meet people, you know, I tell them who I am. You know, introduce myself. They're like, "Oh, hey, do you know Rich?" "Yep, he's my dad." And then they go on to tell me, "Oh, well, I had him do this for me, and I met him here. He coached me back in, 1980, whatever." They're going over the story and telling me all about what he did and how they interacted and what went on. And as a kid, that was really annoying. It's like, all right, okay. It's my dad. Let me move on. Let me get out of here. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're talking about. You tell me to say hi. I'm not even going to remember your name. But as I've gotten older, I've graduated from college, married, have my own 3 kids. I'm a coach as well. I'm a teacher, and now I appreciate it a lot more. But the biggest thing I think, I was talking to another former player today about this, who's also a coach now. kind of decided that the most important thing that he's kind of passed down, or you can see about his legacy, are all the people who have had him as a coach, who now coach themselves, who are educators, who understand that importance of having those relationship players. And, making sure they reach out and work with kids and do all those things, they can have those lasting impressions and impacts on a lot of people. So, and the other thing along with it, they don't just coach, they do a lot of the same things he did. And it's not about the X's and the O's, it's not about, oh, hey, working on your swing. It's about teaching kids to be accountable, having high standards, teaching them to reach their goals, and do all those important things that are going to help them be better people, not just baseball players, swimmers, tennis players, football players. So, I just want to end here real quick. He did have a lot of wins, but we definitely didn't win every game we played. But what he did teach us, I think, definitely helped most of us, and many, if not most of us, maybe all of us, be better people in life and be winners in the lives we live today. So with that, I'd like to introduce my dad and my coach, Mr. Rich Burtis.
I think Jeff told me last week that I think that 5 minutes is up. But bear with me, I will try to be as quick as I can. First of all, I want to congratulate all the inductees tonight. What an honor for not only myself, but an honor for all of you who are being inducted into the first class of the Mount Morris Hall of Fame. So to all inductees, congratulations on this honor. Second of all, you heard Jeff mention I was athletic director here at Mount Morris and then moved on after 27 years of time here at Mount Morris to Flushing. Spent 8 years there before I retired as an athletic director and assistant principal. I know what it is to be an athletic director. I know the time commitment, I know the hard work, the headaches that go along with the job. I cannot offer enough congratulations to Mr. Jeff Klein and to his committee for putting on this outstanding night for many of us. Greatly appreciated, and I know a lot of people sitting out here and in this community don't understand what it takes to put such a program on, the hard work, the year or more of work to make this possible. So Jeff, thank you. I want to introduce my family with anyone. Family is so important. I want to introduce my wife, Jan. We will be married 44 years in June. It doesn't seem possible, but it's been a good run. We have 3 children, Jennifer, her husband, George, Becky, and her husband, Brad, and of course, Stephen and his wife, Mary. And we have 7 grandchildren, 4 of them are here, so I'm going to make those 4 at least stand up. Start with Jake. Go ahead and stand up. Jillian, Brendan, Nolan. Those 4 are here. Stephen's 3 kids are home and probably, I'm sure, in bed sleeping. Many of you that have grandchildren know the joy of having grandchildren. And if you haven't reached that stage yet, At some point in your life, I hope you do. They're just a tremendous joy. There are so many people to thank, so many people to share this honor with. It's not possible for me to stand up here and name all those people, nor do we have the time. But I will try to categorize into 4 groups. People that definitely share the honor that I am receiving tonight. The parents in this community, the parents of the ball players that played for me, the parents of the athletes that I work with as an athletic director. Played such an important part, very supportive. Jeff had mentioned that. I'm sure it's that way today. I had great parent support. Part of the reason why our program was so successful was because of that support. Community members and business people, and I'm going to single out a few of those. But I know I'm going to be sorry for not mentioning all of them, but that's not possible. We had so much support from business people and community members with our program over the 25 years that I coached here. But I think of people like Leonard Seymour, Tom Tolliver at Rockwell's, Jan Rockwell, the owner of Rockwell's, but worked mostly in the hardware department. Fred McAndrews at Vic Bond Sales. These people behind the scenes did so much for our program and never took any credit, didn't want credit. Summer program, we had a summer program all 25 years I was here. And Fred McAndrews at Vic Bonds not only paid the entry fee, bought the uniforms, bought the equipment, bought the balls, supported the tournament that was in his business's name that we had many years here at Mount Morris. Great support from those people. The coaches that worked with me from middle school through high school are an important part of the success of our program. Some of them are here tonight, and I want to thank them personally. And I want to thank all those coaches who are not here tonight that work in our program. And players, you're not successful, I don't care who you are, without having players. And we had some good players. You don't have the success unless you have players that are willing to work, to put the time in, to set goals, to achieve those goals, and probably more important, the love of the game that they have. And I share that love of that game with them. We had some good players and good athletes. But probably more importantly, we had excellent young men. And they grew up to be excellent people. Teachers, doctors, businessmen, husbands, fathers, and finally, good citizens. I'm proud not only of what we did on the field, but what these people turned into. And if I could, I shook a lot of hands, had a lot of memories this evening, just for a second. All those players that are here tonight that played for me, would you please stand up? Thank you. I remember a couple special moments, memories in my lifetime, my career as an educator, as a coach. I think of being chosen to coach in the Michigan High School Baseball All-Star Game at Tiger Stadium in 1993. What a thrill that was, to coach the best baseball players in the state of Michigan. And to walk on a field that as a little kid I used to